Good evening, everyone, and welcome to OET Listening Prowess. This is me, Shaji, joining you from 𝐻𝐻𝐻 Academy. Yes, we've come with yet another OET Listening Live, and I hope all of you are doing good. Everything's going fantastic. You're all practicing. You're all doing your script writing and things like that. So every day, if you're practicing a material, make sure you do its script writing. It's very important that you do it. Only then you will improve. And I've explained what script writing is in the previous lives. It's nothing but you listen to an audio and you write what you hear. So different people have different capabilities, like different people have different capacity. Some would be able to retain one sentence, some would be able to retain two sentences. So whatever you're able to retain in your mind, listen to that, listen that much and write it down onto a piece of paper. And I would say keep a separate book for your script writing. Do your script writing in a separate book, so that every day when you do it, you would know after 2-3 days, you would know how much you've written, how much effort you've put in. That would be like really rewarding. That would tell you that you've worked. And you should also write the marks you're getting in each test every day. For example, today you did your script writing, and then the next day you did a practice, you did a test, and then you should write the score on top of it. And next day also you should do your script writing, and the day after that you should be doing your practice, and you should write the score, and you will see an improvement. And that would be a motivation for you to put in more and more and more effort. I tell this to my students all the time, that you have to do it. And I've seen students coming and telling me that script writing did really work. Last day I was talking to one of my students, and she was telling me after doing script writing, she just did her script writing for one day, because I had explained the script writing method technique the day before, and she went home and she did it. And the next day she came to class, and I asked all the students in the class about what change they saw, what change they could find after doing this script writing. And this girl raised her hand and told me, I could hear every word. I mean, it means a lot. Like, listening is all about being able to hear each and every word in the audio. And if you are able to hear every word in that, half of the job is done. Your listening is testing that. Right? Listening test is actually testing if you're able to hear and understand what's said. Sometimes you may not understand some words, but that's okay. You'll still be able to manage. But if you don't hear every word in it, it would be really difficult for you to understand. So script writing helps you with that. And also it helps you with your attention span. For example, so in the live also, what's happening is we're doing one part. Not even one part. We're just doing one extract. Okay, we'll be doing, if it is part A, we'll be doing just the 12 questions in one live. If it is part B, we'll be doing the 6 questions. If it is part C, we'll be doing the 6 questions. And part C, extract 1 and 2, we'll be doing six questions. So one extract, that's all we're doing, and we're doing it in 1 hour actually. Like, we're spending that time with the audio, like the allotted time for the audio, but then we're doing the explanation, we're doing it with the script and everything. So that's like in a very relaxed way. This is the most relaxed way to do your listening. But that is not the case. When we practice, we're actually practicing 30-40 minutes audio. So you need to be attentive towards till the end. You need to have the same attention span till the end. And as I would say, you need more attention towards the end, because as you go forward, you're getting more difficult questions. Questions are becoming more and more difficult in part C, and all things are like, you have to listen to more things, you have to understand the gist of it, and you have to find, sometimes you have to figure out the answer from the audio. The answers wouldn't be directly given. So in part A and all, it might be like, most of the time the answers are very direct and one word, a short phrase. It's much easier. So you need more attention. For that, you need to practice. And script writing helps you have more attention, and will help you stay focused, will help you have that patience. Because, you know, when you're just listening, there is a chance that you would lose your focus. But you're listening and writing. So you know that if you have to write it, you need to listen carefully. Okay, that has to happen. Yes, I have a lot of you saying good evening. I'm so happy to see that. Jumi Joseph, good evening. Hi, hello, good evening. 𝐎𝐐𝐬𝐬𝐿, good evening. Yogeshwari, yes, good evening. Femi Chutatakara, hi. Hi, Femi, good evening. Indu S, hi, good evening. I'm the first time. Oh, Indu is attending the live for the first time. So happy to see you here. Okay, Olivia Sunny, good evening. Abhirajan, yes, I know Abhirajan. Good evening. Hi, Abhirajan, good evening. So happy to see you here. And so I'm actually very happy to see familiar faces here and also some new faces here. And I'm saying faces because I have this feeling that I'm actually seeing you, because I'm getting responses from you and I'm talking to you. So it's just an experience. It makes me feel like I'm actually seeing you. So I have this feeling that I'm seeing new faces, and I'm very happy to see familiar faces as well, because what makes me happy is that if I have familiar faces here, that means this listening live was helpful for you. It helped you one way or the other. That's why you're coming again, and I'm so happy to see you all here. And those of you who are new, this is our OET Listening Live. We give you OET material, and we give you, I take a part, maybe an extract, and the audio will be played for you in the live, and you do the answers at home. You write down the answers on the book of paper, or on a piece of paper or on the book, and then what happens is we will be discussing the answers. We'll also give you some time to copy down the questions or to take a screenshot of it, okay, on another device, so that it's good that you do it, because if you do that, you will be able to follow the things that I'm saying when I'm discussing the answers and when I'm reading the audio script. So when you have the question paper with you, you will have that connection. Otherwise, it would be difficult for you to connect it. And then we'll be discussing the answers with the help of audio script. And what is audio script? Audio script is nothing but the script of the audio. So what if the whole audio was written? So that script is given. So it is the exact same thing you heard in the audio. But in the audio, there may be few words that you couldn't understand, that you couldn't catch. Those words you can actually understand when I read the audio script. The whole audio script will be read, and also I will be marking the answers. If it is part A, I'll be marking the part A answers there. If it is part B, I'll mark the answers, and I'll show you why it became the answer, and I'll also tell you how we can eliminate some options and things like that. All right, yes. So yes, I have few more people here. Sony Anand, good evening. Rajeshwari Vivek, good evening. Abhirajan has asked how I'm doing. I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing amazing. Thanks for asking. And Malini Ananthan is saying good evening. Yes, good evening, Malini. And Rajeshwari Vivek, ma'am, what all are the days you're taking listening live? Please tell me. Okay, we have listening live, OET Listening Live, on every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So the listening lives would be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Okay, Rajeshwari, hope it's clear. Anuvapus, good evening. Yes, so every live we'll be covering one parts, one extracts, and we'll be giving you explanations. Okay, that's what we will be doing. Yes, I was talking about script writing. Okay, yes, Naivi Biju, good evening. Script writing is just very important. So I told you how to do it. What are the advantages of doing it? It will help you improve the focus. It will help you hear the words clearly in the audio. And always when you do your script writing, remember one thing, that you are listening to the audio just once. Okay, you should make it your aim. You should make it your goal that I listen to the audio just once. Okay, that means, for example, if the heading is the sentence said is patient requires treatment from a young age, that is the statement said. You won't hear it again. You won't create a situation where you'll have to listen again. You'll try to listen it once, understand it, write it. Okay, so that should be your aim. And if you are someone who's struggling with your focus, attention, everything, don't worry, take it slow, don't force yourself. It's okay to be slow. It's okay to be weak in some areas. It's not that you're weak. That's how you are, but you can change it. You can work on that. Okay. Yes. So I have Rajeshwari Vivek saying thank you for your reply. Oh my gosh, it's a pleasure. And Jacqueline Ross Biju, good evening. Yes, good evening everyone. So if you are slow, if you think you're not able to do things the way it has to be done, it's okay. All right. If you're able to remember just 3 words or 5 words, after that you're losing focus, okay, the next day or after 3-4 days, you'll be able to remember 4 or 5 words. Just be patient with yourself. That's all I can tell you. And listening is something you can improve really fast if you're putting in that effort. And if you are perseverant with what you're doing, things are going to be easy for you. Okay. And also, all these live sessions will be available online, like on our Facebook page, Neetu's Academy. So even if you couldn't watch a particular live, you can watch it. And we have actually published a lot of materials in the previous lives. So if you want, you can go refer that as well. Okay, and we have covered plenty of materials over this time in OET Listening Prowess, so you can refer that materials as well if you haven't seen them, and if you need extra materials and explanation. Okay. Yes, but if you come for the live sessions, you will get the live corrections as well. Or if you have any questions, you will be able to ask me in the live session itself. All right. So now, without wasting much time, I think let's move on to the audio. So today's audio is Part C. Part C, Extract 1. Okay, so some of you might be a fresher and you might not have an idea about what is Part C. Part C is nothing, but it has got 12 questions, 6 questions in one extract, 6 questions in the other extract, and they will give you 90 seconds. 90 seconds will be given at first, and during that time you have to read the questions, read all the 6 questions. Okay, in between you won't be given any time, like after 31 you won't be given any time, or after 32. No, in between the questions you won't be given any time to read the questions. All the time that you get is this 90 seconds. Within that time you have to finish reading it. There are 2 methods in which you can read it. One is read the questions alone, and then come to the options and read the options. The other is read the question and the options together. You can choose whichever method is comfortable for you, whichever method works really well for you. You have to try both methods, because some people find one method easy, some people find other method easy. But the advantage of reading all the questions first and then the options is that even if you didn't finish, or if you don't finish reading the questions and the options within the 90 seconds time, you have at least read all the questions. You'll definitely be able to read the questions alone within 90 seconds. It's just that you haven't read the options. So, and you've read the options of few questions. So when, for example, 35 and 36, when you reached it, the time was over. So you haven't read the options, but you know the question. So when you hear the audio, you'll be able to do something. But imagine you followed the method of reading question, options, that mething. If you follow that method, what will happen is, imagine in case your questions are not over within the 90 seconds time, you did not finish reading the questions within the 90 seconds time, then you've only reached question number 34. By the time was over, then what will happen, you'll have to write the answers, you'll have to find the answers for 35 and 36, but you have not read it. It would be really difficult. So that's why we give you 2 methods, but you can definitely go for the method that works best for you. All right. Yes. So that's how you do it. Again, more like underlining the keywords, looking for the synonyms, and signposting. Here it is an interview. Here that is not a problem, because interviewer will be asking a question that would refer to one question. But we will also get presentation. If it is presentation, you have to look for signposting language, a sentence that they would say that they're moving on to the next question, or that would give us a hint that they're moving on to the next question. So here they'll be asking one question. So each question would refer to each interview question would refer to the question in the question paper booklet. So it's kind of easy, and this material is quite easy, and I want all of you to get 6 out of 6. All right, yes, without wasting much time, let's move on to the material. The audio will be played and the questions will be displayed on the screen.
Part C, questions 31 to 42. In this part of the test, you'll hear 2 different extracts. In each extract, you'll hear health professionals talking about aspects of their work. For questions 31 to 42, choose the answer A, B, or C, which fits best according to what you hear. Now, look at extract 1, questions 31 to 36.
You hear an interview with a physician called Dr. Tadita Hussain, who's talking about treating patients with cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a condition that causes mucus to be thicker and stickier than it should be. Dr. Tadita Hussain specializes in cystic fibrosis treatment and is here to share her thoughts on caring for people with the condition. Tadita, can you tell us a bit more about patients who suffer from cystic fibrosis?
Absolutely. Sufferers tend to carry 2 to 5 times as much salt in their bodies as those without the condition. So you can see why their mucus is thicker than average. Treatment for these patients is usually quite time-consuming and repetitive. Patients are often required to stay in hospital for long stretches. And as the symptoms of the condition begin to present very early on in the patient's life, many of my patients are young people. And so we tend to see lots of patients with cystic fibrosis finding these hospital visits frustrating.
Right.
In fact, throughout the UK, about 80% of patients with cystic fibrosis who are hospitalised report feeling at least minimal levels of depression.
How about young patients who aren't currently hospitalized? What can be challenging about their treatment?
Well, patients can be required to take around 30 pills a day to keep cystic fibrosis under control. So it's understandable that teenagers and young people who just want to be free and independent might resent this ordeal if they think they can get away with it. One of the most difficult things we have to contend with is the fact that if patients stop taking their medication or doing their daily breathing treatments, their condition won't immediately worsen. Instead, it will gradually become more severe until they contract a serious infection, which puts their lives at risk.
So, what approaches do you use when treating patients with cystic fibrosis?
Well, we've found distraction therapy to be extremely useful. We're incredibly lucky to have received a donation of a number of virtual reality headsets following their success in a number of treatment trials. We use the virtual reality headsets to transport the patient to outdoor settings, often corresponding to the activities they're required to do with us. When they complete breathing exercises on a stationary bike, for example, the VR headsets display a virtual outdoor bike ride. Our patients find it helpful to pretend to be somewhere else during treatment, and it's often easier for us to administer breathing treatments to patients using these headsets, as they're more relaxed when they're not focused on the actuality of the test.
So, what sorts of changes have you seen in your patients as a result of these methods?
One of my patients, a 24-year-old man with cystic fibrosis who was in hospital waiting for a lung transplant, well, he found treatment very difficult at first. He was preoccupied by his need for a transplant and frustrated by feelings of powerlessness. He would often resist treatment. We started using the virtual reality systems with him as soon as we got them, and it took a while for him to get on board, but when he did, it was like someone had breathed new life into him. Not only did he stop hindering his treatment, he actually began to look forward to it. He's even started helping us to think about other ways we can improve the experiences of our patients, like improving social interaction.
Yes, I understand that there are difficulties involved in patient communication.
We're looking into the possibility of instant messaging functions between patients, and even virtual games that they can play against each other. Unfortunately, patients with cystic fibrosis have to be kept apart to avoid cross-infection. It's just one more cross to bear for our patients, that they can't talk to those going through the same thing.
Right.
Our patients get plenty of interaction with myself and the rest of the staff, but we'd like to make sure they have access to a network of fellow sufferers too, for support and advice.
I see. That all sounds quite futuristic. Are there any other advances on the horizon for the treatment of cystic fibrosis?
Well, there's a new drug that's been in the news recently. It's a combination of 𝐉𝐿𝐿𝐻 and ivacaftor. You might know it by the brand name Orkambi. The drug works by improving the level of water and salt in the body, thereby reducing the thick mucus that causes illness and respiratory issues in those with cystic fibrosis. Even more exciting and futuristic, though, is the possibility of gene therapy, where the genetic mutation that causes cystic fibrosis in individuals is replaced with a healthy gene. This would effectively cure those with the condition and significantly extend the lives of thousands of people and remove the need for lengthy stays in hospital.
Okay, so how was the material? Was it easy for you? I hope it was easy, right? It wasn't very difficult. There are no complications in it as such. So you can take a screenshot of the questions, or you can copy them down. Okay, if you can copy them down really quick, you can do that, or you can take a screenshot of it and keep it on another device and refer it while I'm discussing the answers. All right, easy material. 𝐉𝐿𝐻 is saying the material was easy. Yes, I totally get you. It was an easy material. There wasn't any complication, or there weren't many complications. It was quite manageable. Okay, yes. Especially for those who have been practicing, I'm sure this was a very easy material. So you have 90 seconds to read questions 31 to 36. Okay, question number 31. Dr. Hussain, copy it down, says that patients with cystic fibrosis, option A, may find side effects alarming. Option B, tend to require treatment from a young age. Option C, can improve their condition with frequent hospital visits. Okay, I hope you can copy it down, or you can take a screenshot of it. All right. Second one, what does Dr. Hussain say is difficult when treating patients who were not in hospital? Option A, they often find the exercises too complicated. Option B, they tend to have difficulty socializing with other people. Option C, they don't always understand the importance of their treatment. Question number 33. What does Dr. Hussain say about the role of distraction therapy in cystic fibrosis treatment? Option A, it can be related to the treatment being provided. Option B, it allows patients to complete their activities more quickly. Option C, it provides staff with more information about the patient's condition. Question number 34. What changes did Dr. Hussain observe in one of her patients? Option A, he showed respiratory improvement. Option B, he deteriorated rapidly following a change in treatment. Option C, he began to enjoy aspects of their treatment. Next, question number 35. Dr. Hussain plans to use technology to help cystic fibrosis patients to communicate. Option A, with other patients who suffer from the condition. Option B, with family members who cannot visit them in hospital. Option C, with patients of a similar age suffering from different conditions. Now, question number 36. Dr. Hussain suggests that future treatments there is a 4 that is missing here. Cystic fibrosis, for cystic fibrosis. Option A, will always incorporate lengthy procedures. Option B, could prevent breathing difficulties in sufferers. Option C, might be less painful than the current options available. All right, now we'll look at the audio script. We'll look at the answers. I hope you've either copied it down or taken a screenshot on another device. So what is the first question? First question is, Dr. Hussain says that patients with cystic fibrosis may find the side effects alarming. Okay, they're talking about side effects. Tend to require treatment from a young age. Option C, can improve their condition with frequent hospital visits. Was option C a bit confusing? You can type in your answers in the comments, and after I explain the answer, after I tell you why that option is the answer or why that option is not the answer, if you still have any questions left in your mind, you can drop them in the comments. All right? Yes. Let's see. So part C, questions 31 to 42. In this part of the test, you will hear 2 different extracts. In each extract, you will hear health professionals talking about aspects of their work. For questions 31 to 42, choose the answer A, B, or C, but we are doing only 31 to 36. Which fits best according to what you hear. Now look at extract 1. Questions 31 to 36. You hear an interview with a physician called Dr. Tadida Hussain, who's talking about treating patients with cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a condition that causes mucus to be thicker and stickier than it should be. Dr. Tadida Hussain specializes in cystic fibrosis treatment and is here to share her thoughts on caring for people with the condition. So this is an interview. Okay, so that means it's easy. You don't have to look for signposting. Each question would be your signposting. Yes, hi Betty Matthew. I hope you're new here. Interviewer is asking, Tadida, can you tell us a bit more about patients who suffer from cystic fibrosis? Tadida is saying, absolutely. Sufferers tend to carry 2 to 5 times as much as salt in their bodies as those without the condition. So you can see why the mucus is thicker than average. Treatment for these patients is usually quite time consuming and repetitive. Patients are often required to stay in hospital for long stretches. We have an option that talks about hospital, all right, can improve their condition with frequent hospital visits. Are they talking about improving the condition with frequent hospital visits? No, they're just saying they're required to stay in hospital for long stretches. They're not talking about any frequent visits or improving the condition. And as the symptoms of the condition begin to present very early on in the patient's life, many of my patients are young people. So this condition is, the onset of this condition is on the early stages, early life. Okay, present very early in the patient's life. So many of my patients are young people. That matches with the option B, tend to require treatment from a young age. That means they get the disease or the symptoms from a very young age, and most of my patients tends to require treatment from a very young age. I have a lot of answers here. Abhirajan is saying option B. Alfie is saying, Kanjanaparam is saying option B. Kochus is saying option B. Malini is saying option B. Malini Ananthan is saying option B. Intues is saying option B. Jacqueline Rose is saying option B. Olivia is saying option B. And all of your answers are correct, and I'm so happy for you. I don't have a single wrong answer. Yes, Rajeshwari Vivek is saying option B. Ashwati Shaktivel is saying option B. Yes, I'm so happy for you all. Good job, guys. The answer is option B. They're not talking about side effects. The word side effect is also not there. So we're completely eliminating option A. And option C we eliminated because we have the word hospital, but they're not talking about hospital visits. Okay, and option B is our answer, tend to require treatment from a young age. And so we tend to see lots of patients with cystic fibrosis finding these hospital visits frustrating, right? In fact, throughout the UK, about 80% of patients with cystic fibrosis who are hospitalized report feeling at least minimal levels of depression. Okay, now let's look at question number 32. Okay, so option B is the answer for question number 31. Tend to require treatment from a young age. So for your exam, you have to darken the circle. Okay, so now just so that you will understand, I'm doing this. Now question number 32. What is question number 32? What does Dr. Hussain say is difficult when treating patients who are not in hospital? Okay, so what is our keyword? Difficult when treating patients not in hospital. Those are the keywords. Option A, they find the exercises too complicated. Exercises too complicated. Those could be your keywords. They tend to have difficulty socializing with other people. So difficulty socializing with other people. Difficulty socializing with other people. Difficulty socializing with other people. Exercises too complicated. They don't always don't understand importance of their treatment. Okay, these are the keywords. and difficult when treating patients not in hospital. These are the keywords. Okay, so we'll look at the audio. Interviewer is asking, Tadida, can you tell us a bit more about patients who suffer from cystic fibrosis? Okay, we did that part. Okay. Interviewer is saying, how about young patients who are currently hospitalized? What can be challenging about their treatment? See, when we hear this question itself, we can understand they're referring to question number 32, because that is about patients who were not in the hospital, who were not hospitalized. That is how they've said. They've said a synonym. What can be challenging about their treatment? Tadida, well, patients can be required to take around 30 pills a day to keep cystic fibrosis under control. So it's understandable that teenagers and young people who just want to be free and independent might resent this ordeal. Might resent means would be just frustrated at this difficult situation, at this painful situation. Okay, if they think they can get away with it, one of the most difficult things we have to contend, okay, one of the most difficult things we have to contend, that means face with, is the fact that if patients stop taking their medication or doing their daily breathing treatments, the condition won't immediately worsen. Instead, it will gradually become more severe until they contract a serious infection, which puts their lives at risk. So if you look at it, you can see that they often find the exercises too complicated. Nowhere they're talking about exercises being too complicated, so we can eliminate that option. They tend to have difficulty socializing with other people. They're not talking about that as well. What they're saying is they're resentful about it, and they don't always they think they can get away with it. But the problem that they have to contend, or difficult things we have to contend or face, is that patients stop taking medication or doing their daily breathing treatments, things will worsen. So it's just that if they don't do it, this is what's happening. That means they don't do it because they don't understand the importance of their treatment. So option C is the answer. So Abhirajan is saying 32C, Alfie is saying the answer is C, Melanie Ananthan is saying it's C, Jumi Joseph is saying it's C, Olivia, Sunny, Jacqueline, Rose, Indu, S, Kochus, all of you are saying option C is the answer, and you're correct. Your answers are all correct. I'm so happy. Again, another answer without any wrong options. Okay, very good, very good. I hope everything is clear to you. So I think it was because this material was quite easy that you were able to do it. Okay, now I can take you back to the questions. Okay, now look at question number 33. So 32, the answer is option C. They don't always understand. Option C is the answer. They don't always understand the importance of their treatment. 33. What does Dr. Hussain say about the role of distraction therapy in cystic fibrosis treatment? It can be related to the treatment being provided. It allows patients to complete their activities quickly, provides staff with more information about the patient's condition. So I've underlined the keywords for you. And now let's look at the audio. Okay. Yes, so it is about role of distraction therapy related to treatment being provided. then patients can complete their activities quickly. Staff is able to get more information about the patient's condition. Okay, let's see. So, what approaches do you use when treating patients with cystic fibrosis? Tadida, well, we have found distraction therapy to be extremely. So, what approaches do you use when treating cystic fibrosis? We found distraction therapy to be extremely useful. We're incredibly lucky to have received donation of a number of virtual reality headsets following their success in a number of treatment trials. We use the virtual reality headsets to transport the patient to outdoor settings, often corresponding to the activities they're required to do with us. Okay? When they complete breathing exercises on a stationary bike, for example, the VR headsets, that is the virtual reality headsets, display a virtual outdoor bike ride. Our patients find it helpful to pretend to be somewhere else during treatment, and it's often easier for us to administer breathing treatments to patients using these headsets, as they are more relaxed when they're not focused on the actuality of the test. So this distraction therapy, so they're giving this and they feel like they're somewhere else, they're able to administer the breathing treatments to patients, and they're more relaxed because they are not focused on the actuality of the test. So are they talking about it allowing patients to complete their activities quickly? No, we cannot see that. So we're eliminating option B. They're not talking about the staff being able to get more information about the patient. No, we cannot see that at all. So they've not talked about it. We're eliminating option C. Then what is the answer? They're actually saying it can be related to the treatment being provided. Option A is the answer. And 𝐿𝐿 and Olivia Sunny, they both have given option B as the answer. It allows patients to complete their task more quickly. Nowhere we're able to see them talking about the speed. They're not able to do the tasks. So see, our patients find it helpful to pretend to be somewhere. Pretend to be somewhere means they're feeling like they're not actually somewhere else, but they're acting as if they're somewhere else during treatment. And it's often easier for us to administer. It is easier for us to administer the treatments to patients using these headsets, as they are more relaxed. So this is helping them to do it, and not saying about the patients able to complete their activities more quickly. They're just relaxed. So 𝐿𝐿 and Olivia Sunny, the answer is that it can be related to the treatment being provided. So how they are able to distract these patients, and these patients are relaxed when this virtual reality is shown to them. They're on a bike ride. They're sitting here, but they feel like they're somewhere else. So they are focused on that, and they're very relaxed. They're not focused on the test. So these people are able to administer the techniques easily. So that means they're able to relate it to the treatment being provided. I hope it's clear. Is it clear, Indu and Olivia? Yes. Others, Abhirajan, Kochu, Alfie, Ashpati, Jacqueline, Rose, all of you, option A. They said option A is the answer. Very good. Your answer is correct. And Indu and Olivia, I hope it is clear. If it is not clear, you can type, I still don't get why that option is the answer. And okay, I'm so happy to know that it's clear to you all. All right, now let's move on to the next question. Question number 34. Question number 34 is, okay, what changes did Dr. Hussain observe? Changes observed in one of her patients. Showed respiratory improvement, deteriorated rapidly, began to enjoy aspects of treatment. Okay, so we'll see. So, what sorts of changes have you seen in your patients as a result of these methods? Tadida, one of my patients, a 24-year-old man with cystic fibrosis who was in hospital waiting for a lung transplant, found treatment very difficult at first. He was preoccupied by his need for a transplant and frustrated by feelings of powerlessness. He would often resist treatment. We started using the virtual reality systems with him as soon as we got them. And it took a while for him to get on board. But when he did, it was like someone had breathed new life into him. Not only did he stop hindering, that is where the answer is, hindering his treatment, but he also actually began to look forward it. So earlier he did not like his treatment. Now he stopped hindering, stopping the treatment, and he began to look forward to it. That is a very direct answer. Nowhere they're saying, he's even started helping us to think about other ways we can improve the experiences of our patients, like improving social interaction. Okay, so nowhere they're talking about improved respiratory movement, respiration things, nothing. They have not mentioned it. And you cannot see him deteriorating. No, he did not deteriorate. Option B is not the answer. Then what is the answer? Option C. He began to enjoy aspects of that treatment. Why? He is now looking forward to the treatment. Is it clear? Yes. Now let's look at question number 35. So 33. The answer is A. Okay, 34. The answer is C. He began to enjoy aspects of their treatment. Why? I don't see any answers here. Okay, now question number 35. Hussain explains to use technology to help cystic fibrosis, plans to use technology to help communicate, to help cystic fibrosis patients to communicate with other patients who suffer from the condition, with family members who cannot visit them in hospital, with patients of similar age suffering from different conditions. Okay, one is patients, same condition. Other one is family members not able to visit in the hospital. Other one is similar age but different conditions. Let's see. So, interviewer. Yes, I understand that there are difficulties involved in patient communication. Tadida, yeah, we're looking into the possibility of instant messaging functions between patients and even virtual games that they can play against each other. Each other means among themselves. So, unfortunately, patients with cystic fibrosis have to be kept apart to avoid cross-infection. It's just one more cross to bear for our patients, that they can't talk to those going through the same things, the people who were suffering the same condition, right? Our patients get plenty of interaction with myself and the rest of the staff, but we'd like to make sure they have access to a network of fellow sufferers. So we can definitely eliminate option C. Option C is saying different conditions. So it is not to communicate with different conditions. So option C eliminated. Option B also eliminated because we cannot see them talking about family members. Then which option is the answer? Option A, with other patients who suffer from the condition. Yes, Betty Matthew, I'm so happy to see that you're attending it for the first time. I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope this is helping you. Now we'll look at, so what is the answer for 35th question? 35th question, tell me, what is the answer? Option A, with other patients who suffer from the condition, to communicate with other patients who suffer from the condition. Okay. So 35, option A is the answer, with other patients who suffer from condition. Okay, very good. Now look at question number 36. Dr. Hussain suggests that future treatments there is a 4 here, so I told you there is a 4 here, for cystic fibrosis will always incorporate lengthy procedures. So future treatments incorporate lengthy procedures, prevent breathing difficulties in sufferers, might be less painful than current options available. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see. That all sounds quite futuristic. Are there any other advances on the horizon for the treatment of cystic fibrosis? Well, there is a new drug that's been, so that is a new drug. That is, so a new drug would be about, if there is a new drug, it would be doing some things for the future, right? Yes. That's been in the news recently. It's a combination of lemacaftor and ivacaftor. You might know it by the brand name Orkambi. So the drug works by improving the level of water and salt in the body, thereby reducing the thick mucus that causes illness and respiratory issues. So it works by improving the level of water and salt in the body, thereby reducing the thick mucus. Are they talking about pain? No, they're not. So we can eliminate option C. Might be less painful than the current options available. Option C eliminated. Then will always incorporate lengthy procedures. Are they talking about lengthy procedures? No. They're saying it would reduce the mucus that causes illness and respiratory issues. Yes, they're talking about respiratory issues. It could prevent breathing difficulties in sufferers, issues in those cystic fibrosis. So which option is the answer? Option B is your answer. Okay. Yes. And we have something even more exciting and futuristic though, is the possibility of gene therapy. Then they talk about gene therapy, and we don't have an option related to that, where the genetic mutation that causes cystic fibrosis in individuals is replaced with a healthy gene. This would effectively cure those with the condition and significantly extend the lives of thousands of people and remove the need for lengthy stays in hospital. Yes, so that is what it is. So 36, the answer is option B. Option B could prevent breathing difficulties in sufferers. So 31B, 32C, 33A, 34C, 35A, 36B. So tell me, how much could you score? I'm sure you all scored 6 out of 6. But except few, if you couldn't get that, make sure you understand why it was wrong and try to do this material once again. All right, we'll meet in the next live, which will be on next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Stay tuned. If you guys don't have any other questions, we'll call it a day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night and take care.